everyone, and welcome to our educational session. My name is Paul Arsov, and I'm the founder of the Decentralized Web project. The topic of this educational session today is historic lessons on strategy which apply today. I'm going to talk about our project in the end of this presentation, but let's start right away. And I'm going to start with a historic example. At the start of 16th century, Bayezid II, the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, called for designs to bridge the Golden Horn, a major waterway dividing the European side of Istanbul to the Asian side of Istanbul. Basically, the bridge between Europe and Asia. Bayezid the Just was known for his particular focus on smooth management of domestic politics and for a series of successful campaigns to consolidate his empire, one of the largest and most powerful at that time, encompassing much of southeastern Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. In 1502, Leonardo da Vinci submitted his designs. Nearly 1,000 feet, it would have been the longest bridge in the world and have represented one of the greatest engineering achievements of the Renaissance. In the letter that accompanied his design submission, he wrote, "I, your faithful servant, know how to do it. I will erect it as high as an arch so that no one will wish to contest it, and that a ship under full sail could sail underneath it." Unfortunately, Da Vinci design was not built and the Golden Horn was not bridged for several hundred years. Historical records vary, but two theories are that the proposal was either declined by nervous advisors or simply lost due to administrative error within the Sultan's bureaucracy. Like many Da Vinci designs, it was innovative and ahead of its time. It used compressive design to self-stabilize, which MIT researchers recently confirmed would have not only worked in general, but also specifically in Istanbul, seismically unstable region. The bridge and its fate happens to be an apt metaphor for the function of strategy. As we explain in the meaning of strategy, great strategy is typically defined by a set of hard-to-reverse choices made in the face of uncertainty to build or leverage competitive advantage, to create and capture disproportional value. While this may be the meaning of strategy, it is not the function of it. Effective strategy must do more than just set a direction. As Rolls-Royce CEO Tufan Ergin Biglik said in his investor Q&A in 2023 at the start of his tenure, before Rolls-Royce stock became one of the highest performance across all major indices in 2023, and further explained in 2024 interview. Beyond strategic clarity, a granular strategy will be an effective alignment and performance management tool, as well as changing the culture. A clear strategy supported by the right performance management can be cascaded down and used as a powerful engagement tool to align the whole organization. Strategy crafted well is thus more than a direction or a narrative or a set of choices. The function of great strategy is to enable the shift of an organizational direction, pace, and or approach towards its most important goals. As Ergin Biglik is not only one to see value of strategy in this way, as the late great strategy theorist Colin Gray put it, the function of strategy is to bridge the gap between purpose and action. Gray was one of the most important strategy theorists of the last few decades, and although he did not focus on business strategy, strategy executives can learn a great deal from him. Gray, who was born in 1943 and passed in 2020, was a British American strategist, theorist, and academic. As an advisor to both UK and US governments and a professor of international relations and strategic studies at the University of Reading, Gray produced over 30 books and 300 articles that systematically explore the theory, practice, and history of strategy, primarily related to national security concerns as nuclear deterrence, geopolitics, and military affairs. Gray had major impacts, including reviving the study of geopolitics in 1970s with his 1977 book, The Geopolitics of the Nuclear Era, the first book with geopolitics in its title since 1945. Pioneered the modern study of strategic culture in 1981, critical to understanding the motives and dynamics of adversaries as strategic contexts, developing the concept of strategic history that bridges theory and practical application, rejecting purely scientific or reductionist approaches. Developing strategy theory for its practice, focusing on strategy as a practical act informed by theory, history, and context, strongly influencing US nuclear strategy and policy, particularly regarding strategic missile defense and advocating for resilient and adaptable solutions in the face of uncertainty. Anticipating in 1999 world politics 2 to 3 decades since will be increasingly organized around the rival poles of US and Chinese power and Russia's return to political military challenge to the West, which immediately would threaten independent Ukrainians, and finally educated and influencing generations of scholars and practitioners like General Jim Mattis, considered one of the deepest threat military leaders alive today, referred to Gray in 2018 as the most near faultless strategist alive today. One of the Gray's final acts was to be Mattis' advisor while he was the US Secretary of Defense. What makes Gray's work particularly valuable is his ability to extract timeless principles from strategic history while acknowledging the ever-changing character of strategic challenges. His work was deeply practical and well written, focused on the real-world application of strategic thinking to solve complex problems. In a world where business strategists are often looking for new strategic frameworks or methodologies, Gray's emphasis on the enduring fundamentals of strategy offers a refreshingly steadying perspective. In what follows, we will explore the contributions of Gray's strategy core function as a bridge. Strategy's function. Grace first introduced the definition of strategy as a bridge between purpose and power in his 1999 book Modern Strategy, as an adaptation from the famous strategy theorist Karl von Clausewitz. He goes on the book to introduce 17 strategic dimensions that encompass most of what um, contributes to the making and executing of strategy. Gray iterates on these dimensions and the concept of strategy as a bridge with his 2010 book, The Strategic Bridge Theory for Practice, and further elaborates on it in his 2015 book, The Future of Strategy, explaining strategy should be taught as a glue that holds together the purposeful activities of state. It is the great enabler. Strategy interconnects all the different behaviors and capabilities that a strategy community commands. Strategy only has value when it serves as a bridge between purpose and action. The strategy bridge, however, is not passive, at least it should not be. The strategists who hold the bridge are tasked with the generally unordinary, complex and difficult mission of translating political purpose or policy into feasible military or business plans. The position strategy as the essential effort of alignment and adaptation that gives meaning and direction to execution. Without strategy acting as a bridge, tactical activities become disconnected from higher purposes, and political or business ambitions remain unrealized aspirations with no pathways to achievement. In business terms, when strategy doesn't act as a bridge, it can result in what we call a hairy back of foiled hockey stick examples. One recent research on strategy capabilities and practices previewed has underpinned Gray's belief that strategy only has value when it serves as a bridge, and Andrew Marshall's quip that strategy only matters if it survives one's system. Mobilization's strengths most differentiate companies truly great at strategies outcomes along our power curve of economic profit. Indeed, recent research also showed strengths in every one of the three phases, 12 building blocks and 28 underlying capabilities um, of the strategic method of grace. The grace practical orientation meant he had plenty to say about the role of the practical strategists and not just about the theory of strategy. His strategy bridge includes 21 dicta of strategy and like one of the most important dictum 13, the strategy bridge must be held by competent strategists. Earlier, Gray explains by his command performance, it is the strategist above all others who must join up the dots from political or business intention back to political or business achievement via a centralized direction of varied efforts in conflict. This is the function of the strategist, and it is a way why his bridge needs to be kept in good enough repair for the two-way strategic traffic to flow. Strategists are uniquely positioned among all other executive functions to be able to see and assess the entirety of their organizational strategy bridge, even if they cannot influence all of it. They know what has gone into the design and decision making of strategy, of course, but they often also see where strategy succeeds and fails to reach execution, such as in detailed planning, resource reallocation, budgeting, and strategic change management, to name a few key activities, as well as in actively driving execution and enabling learning and adaptation. And some of the best strategy function will have the mandates, capabilities, talent, and networks to be able to keep their organization strategy bridges in good repair, even though they are only directly responsible for just few parts. While Gray may have had high expectations for the role of strategists, he was clear-eyed about the challenges they face. The beginning of wisdom for an approach to the underlying and understanding of strategy should be recognition of the sheer difficulty of the enterprise. Leonardo da Vinci's bold design for the Golden Horn Bridge, with its innovative self-stabilizing compression approach, centuries ahead of his time, ultimately failed to span the waterways and expand Istanbul's reach. It remained a brilliant concept, but just on paper, unrealized due to bureaucratic error or failure of nerve. Enduring issues we recognize today. The most enduring successful organizations invest in building and maintaining their strategy bridges, or in our view, born out our strategy champion research and their strategic capabilities across design, mobilization, and execution. As Gray noted, the potential for function abounds in all aspects of strategy making and at all levels of execution. The bridge must withstand pressures from both sides, policy shifts from above, operational reality from below, and competitive and environmental dynamics from without. In addition to natural degradation of capabilities and systems that come with time and growth. Had Leonardo's bridge been built, it would have been transformed in Istanbul, creating economic and social connections that may have altered the course of history. Similarly, when constructed strategy bridges can transform organizations, connecting visions to reality in ways that create lasting competitive advantage. As Gray might have advised business leaders today, design your strategy bridge with care, build it with skill, watch it with vigilance, and be prepared to repair and adapt it continuously. For in strategy, as with bridges, the true measure of success is not the elegance or innovation of the design, but the strength that connects and um, it enables and sustains. And with this, I'm ending this presentation, and I'm coming back to the beginning of this presentation when I told you that my name is Paul Arsov, and I'm the founder of the Decentralized Web project and several other projects. But first, the Decentralized Web project built decentralized communication and advertising platform. It has its own blockchain instance, which rewards users with tokens for joining our platform. It rewards users who invite other people to become users on our platform, and it rewards users to view advertising on our platform, which is very permissive. The user has to click on link to start viewing advertising, and then they have to view one after another ads by clicking to advance to next and next, and for this term rewarded with tokens. With this said, I like to tell you the name and the URL of the website of this project. It is decentralizedweb.org. Decentralized and web, these are two words, and they're typed all together. Decentralized web. And then there is dot and it ends with org. With this said, I like to tell you about the second project that we built, and this project has a marketplace and collection of non-fungible tokens or NFTs based on three-dimensional objects. With three-dimensional objects, there has to be special software which reads the 3D object file, then it creates a window on a computer screen, then it loads the 3D object and displays this 3D object, and then it can manipulate this 3D object in the way the user desires. Traditionally, creators of 3D objects, they did use two game engines. One of them is called Unity, the other one is called Unreal. But from the very beginning in our project, we decided to build our own 3D software engine, and what it does, it loads the file of the 3D object. It opens a window on a computer screen. It displays the 3D object, and then it starts moving it in a random fashion and starts animating this 3D NFT. With this set, I like to tell you that we have our own blockchain instance for this project as well, and users do not have to pay gas fees for the deployments of the smart contracts of the non-fungible tokens, and users do not have to pay gas fees for transactions of transfer of ownership from one user to another user. With this set, I also like to tell you that by having our own blockchain instance, we allow our users to have allow our users to have to buy and receive proceeds from selling multiple crypto coins, and currently we have choices of 4 crypto coins, which include Solana Sol, Polygon Matic, Avalanche Avax, and Qcoin, which is a big centralized crypto exchange. They have a coin called KCS. But in addition to buying and selling with crypto, we have a second parallel and independent way of buying and receiving proceedings from sale, and it is done entirely in fiat currency. For example, if you are the user and you come to our 3D NFT marketplace, you could click and see all of the NFTs that we have to offer. And when you click on one 3D NFT that you like in particular for sale, you're going to see that there is a drop-down menu which is asking you to choose between four different crypto coins and a fifth choice of payment with fiat currency. Let's say you select payment with fiat currency, then you're going to be presented with a screen where you have to put the number of your debit card or credit card, expiration date, CVC, and when you click on the button to complete this transaction, then what is going to happen is there is going to be a transaction and transfer of transaction and conversion from your national fiat currency, which could be different from US dollars, and this payment is going to be converted from your national fiat currency to US dollars, and it is going to be deposited in our bank account. Then we are going to follow this with transaction and transfer of the initial ownership from our 3D NFT marketplace to you, and now you become the owner of this 3D NFT. Let's say you are going to play with this 3D NFT for a while, and then at some point you can decide to put this 3D NFT for sale. You decide on the price that you want to put for sale, and then let's say there's a second user who comes to our 3D NFT marketplace, and they are going to browse through the 3D NFTs, and let's say they click and see and click in particular the 3D NFT that you put for sale. Then they're going to go through the same choices of payment with fiat currency or payment with crypto or payment with fiat currency. So let's say they select payment with fiat currency, then they put their number of debit or credit card, expiration date CVC. They click to make the payment, and the payment is going to be converted from their national fiat currency to US dollars and deposited in our bank account. Then we're going to follow this with transaction and transfer of ownership from you to the second user. And now the second user becomes owner of this 3D NFT. Then we're going to make a transaction and transfer and conversion from US dollars to your national fiat currency, and we are going to be depositing the payment from the payment from the sale of the 3D NFT to your national fiat currency and deposit it in your bank account in your national fiat currency. With this said, I'm ending talking about this second project. The third project I want to mention is having artificial intelligence entities. And currently there are two different AI entities, and you, the user, could specify the gender of the first AI entity and the gender of second AI entity, and you can specify avatar's image of the first and the second AI entity. You can specify the voice of the first and the second AI entity and the voice pitch. And then you could specify the different large language models for the first and the second AI entity, and you can put prompt and the system request for the first and the second AI entity. Then you can click on the button to start the interaction, and then you can view and enjoy this interaction between going on between the first and the second AI entity. But at some point you can click on the button to stop this interaction, and then you have a choice of saving the transcript of the whole interaction for your future viewing locally. And also you have the choice of sharing the parameters of this interaction on our website, and so that other users could put the same parameters of this interaction, and they could put these parameters and enjoy this interaction, which is going to be similar but not exactly the same, because large language models have a requirement against repetition, and users could see interactions which are similar but not exactly the same as the one they just enjoyed. Some examples of interaction are, for example, you assign the first AI entity to have a female gender. Then you create an AI avatar for this particular interaction. You create a female avatar. Then you also choose female voice for this interaction, and you choose the voice pitch for this interaction. Then you choose a specific large language model, and you put the prompt for this interaction for this female AI entity to be very seductive. And also then you put the system prompt to ask questions and reply to questions and be also very seductive. Then you have a second AI entity and you assign it a male, male gender, male avatar, male voice, and you choose a different large language model and you choose put the system prompt to for this AI entity to be very angry, and then you click on the button to start this interaction, and then you could enjoy this interaction between a female AI entity trying to seduce the second male AI entity, and then the male AI entity responding in an angry fashion to the female AI avatar, and then you view this interaction going back and forth between the two AI entities, and at some point you could click on the button to end this interaction. But with this said, I like to tell you the name and the URL of the website of this project. It is AI to ai.decentralizedweb.org. AI to AI is typed in the way of the letter A, followed by the letter I, followed by the number 2, followed by two other letters A and I. And it is typed all together, AI to AI. Then there is dot, and then there are two words, decentralized and web, and they're typed all together, decentralized web. Then there is dot, and it ends with org. Once again, AI to AI dot decentralizedweb.org. With this said, I like to mention two other projects which we do not have released yet a website or like put information about what we're doing, but we do development, and these specific projects. The first project is counting the tokens which you, the user, is spending for viewing artificial intelligence services, and this project is going to give you an exact amount of tokens that you spent with different AI services, so that it is the amount and the tokens spent and the bill which comes in month by month is not going to come as a huge negative surprise to you, but you could be having this accounting daily or weekly or monthly throughout the time you are using artificial intelligence services from different AI services providers. With this said, I like to mention the second AI related project that we're working on, and this AI project is building an agent which does automation of the actions taken by the user on their computer system or their mobile or tablet devices. And you, the user, could specify the beginning of recording of the sequence, and then you could go step by step through a specific sequence of actions, and then in the end of this sequence you could tell that this is a manual step which is coming with the payment for maybe a specific purchase or specific request that you are making, and then you could label in the end this sequence of steps so that you could then recall this sequence by stating it, and then the AI entity is going to go step by step through these actions, and at the last step you could wait for your confirmation to, for example, make the payment and complete this sequence of actions. But what could this sequence of actions could be? You could, for example, buy like a specific type of food from a grocery store, or you could like purchase a ticket for a concert or an event coming at a specific day and time, or you could buy an airplane ticket for going to a specific destination or multiple destinations, going to a specific range of dates and times, and specific parameters like staying at a particular place for a specific amount of time, and then at the last step you could confirm this interaction and pay for one or more airplane tickets for going to a specific destination. And with this said, I'm ending this presentation. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening, and goodbye.